Welcome back to Pastor Nick's Book Club, where I recommend a book for you to read and share my thoughts on why it might be worth your time. Let's begin this chapter. Intrigue, romance, betrayal, a race against the clock, and a twist that will leave you surprised. This and so much more can be found in this month's book, Beyond the Summerland, by L.B. Graham. This is a young adult fantasy novel that follows a young man, Joram, as he comes of age and enters into a world fraught with peril, because the evil Melech is still on the loose. And when Melech begins his new evil work, All-Father's prophet Valzan calls Joram and other young people on a journey with him to discover Melech's scheme and possibly even bring it to an end. But along the way, Joram discovers his calling to be a prophet and how All-Father is working in his life to do miraculous works. This book is similar to many other imaginative young adult novels with clever world building and intriguing characters who find themselves in situations filled with peril. What sets this book apart is the strong Christian themes that persist throughout the book and throughout the whole series. Some things in the narrative are drawn straight from Christian tradition, such as the idea that when Satan fell, he took a third of the angels with him into his rebellion. Some of the fantasy words that Graham invents have their foundation in the biblical language, most often Hebrew. And some of the imagery that Graham uses is drawn straight out of biblical passages. For instance, the final book in the series is titled All My Holy Mountain, which is referencing the promises made to the people of God in Isaiah 11 and many other places in Isaiah. And all of this is fun, and if you like young adult fantasy, will definitely make this worth your time to read. But there's one other thing about this book that makes me recommend it to everyone. Throughout this story, starting with Beyond the Summerland and continuing through the other 4 books of the Binding of the Blade series, there's a strong biblical theme of the sovereignty of God. At every turn, at every new challenge that is too overwhelming, the characters turn back to trusting in All-Father, trusting that He has a plan to rescue them. And incredibly, through all the loss, all the pain, all the suffering, all that the people endure, they continue to trust in God. And He does work His miraculous redemption. But on top of this, there are other Christian themes that you will encounter as you read through the series. One is about the gift of forgiveness, and the fact that no matter what your crimes, God welcomes you. Another is the promise of resurrection and restoration that God blesses His people with. I think this book and this series is worth reading, even if you aren't a fan of fantasy fiction, but especially if you are. You will get to know and fall in love with many characters. You will journey with them as they struggle to confront evil and ultimately find victory in God and in His promises.